I'm Violet, a mildly feral bunny girl from ancient times, wandering around in modern times. Not all those who wander are lost, but I am. Can I get a taxi to the nearest Aetherite?
And I'm Houka, the Ellison voidsent of Wealth and Taste. I may have stolen many a man's soul and faith, but you can't prove anything.
Welcome to the Eorzean Update, a discussion podcast for the HJP Podcast Network, breaking down the behind-the-scenes details about Final Fantasy XIV Online, the award-winning MMORPG with free trial that goes all the way up through Stormblood, allowing you to play to level 70.
Today we'll be discussing another Yoshi P's interview coming out of PAX East? West?
PAX West. PAX West.
So many PAX. I know there's a PAX South too, but somewhere on there. Also, touching a little bit of the crossover with Monster Hunter Wild and other things like we'll be discussing in this interview. Wow, I can talk today.
Well, we've got a lot of things that we're going to be discussing news-wise because apparently there are a lot of things going on in the industry that are going to be affecting Final Fantasy XIV. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So PAX West interview with Noisy Pixel. That I watched through the entire interview that went up. We got a lot of, behind the scenes information about the new permanent crossover that's going to be happening. Monster Hunter is one of those things that has already shown up as a crossover in Final Fantasy XIV. It came out in the Stormblood X pack. We wound up with a permanent crossover with, what was it, Monster Hunter Wilds?
Yes.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay. I unfortunately am not one of the warriors of light that can play the Monster Hunters. I like it. I like the concept behind the game, but unfortunately I'm very sensitive to certain lighting and camera controls. So there are just certain games that kind of make me kind of queasy, and it's kind of sad.
And I, on the other hand, have been playing Monster Hunter. Played a lot of hours in Monster Hunter World, as technical things are going on at the same time. But it's fine though. Monster Hunter World. I have been playing a little bit of Monster Hunter Wild, not as extensive as I have in World, mainly because the grind in Wild has been taking me away from my grind in Final Fantasy XIV. So I need to find that delicate balance between the two. But I still haven't installed. So that's a that's a plus. But no, I'm so excited for this crossover. It took me forever and a day to get the Ragnaros mount in 14.
Yeah, the Rathlos mount. I do have the Rathlos mount. I also have both of the armor sets. I love that they've been gender unlocked now. So if you're someone who wants to go back and actually grind through that old crossover content, be aware that you don't have to worry about it being gender locked any longer. So choose the outfit that you prefer or gather it all.
No, it's really good. I'm glad because there was like certain pieces where like I want this piece, but it's gender lock, and there's that. But now it's unlocked. I'm like, I get to pick and choose which one I want, and they need to do that for most of the items in the game. But that's just besides the point. So,
for people who may not be aware, who are Monster Hunter fans, which apparently even on the dev team there are a lot of Monster Hunters. As well as on the Monster Hunter dev team, there are a ton of Warriors of Light, which is one of the reasons why this is one of their biggest and most successful crossovers between both games. You can, when you go through the level 70, remember, just as the base quest line, you get a Palico minion. And you can get reward scale turn-ins from the Rathlos trial that you can do that will allow you to also get, what is it, a Poogie minion? It's like a little Porky Piggy. It's so cute, and like a little pajama set. I don't know. I don't play Monster Hunter, but it's adorable and I love
So
it.
in Monster Hunter World, you can actually pet the Poogie in the game.
Woo!
So like it's so cute and whatnot in the game, and I wish we could do that with our Poogie in 14 as well, where you can actually interact with it. Which I'm
That's
hope
so awesome.
I'm the only interaction we have with our minions in 14 is like, hey, beckon, and they sit on your shoulders or whatnot. I wish there was another interaction where you could actually pet it, like, and they can interact it with the Poogie does a little spins around and have a little heart coming out of it. So I wish you could do that in 14. But that's just me though. That's just me because I like cute things like
If you
that.
do
Because
the handover emote, actually, it does do that.
oh, does it?
Yes.
I
So
never
the
seen anyone do it.
handover, well, it doesn't make sense because, of course, for us, we would think, oh, slash feed or slash
Or slash
poke
pet.
or slash pet, but no, it's slash handover, and slash handover is the quote unquote feed emote for your minions, and there are a lot of minions that actually have different emotes that they will do back when you do the slash handover.
If you can see my face right now, where I'm just like questioning
It's
that the
like
decision.
my reality has just been changed.
It's been shattered actually, but
I love it so much. That's I have so many minions. Anyway,
but why is it
yeah,
handover?
I'm a little upset about not being able to play Monster Hunter Wilds now though, because have you seen the rewards that we're getting from this? It's so cute. But we'll get into
Yes.
that in a minute. Let's get into that in a minute. Let's get back to this interview, okay? Before okay. All right, I got myself back together. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things that Yoshi wanted to talk about is, of course, the Monster Hunter crossover, 15-year friendship with Ryozo Sugimoto. I hope I pronounced that close to correctly. They've apparently had a long time friendship, and that helps facilitate the crossovers. And so, whenever the crossovers come up, both teams are super excited. And so, from what I've seen from the we've already gotten the trailers for both of the crossovers, both for Monster Hunter and the Final Fantasy 14 crossover was dropped as well. We'll have links for those in our description. I'm sorry, but it looks just super fun. It looks super fun, and I can't wait to at least play through the Final Fantasy 14 side. I will rely on you to give me the down low on how great the other side is, because I have to imagine being a Monster Hunter playing defeating Omega is going to be like a big deal.
So if Omega plays in Monster Hunter Wild like he does or they do in 14, then I'm in trouble. Um, so one of my favorite class in Monster Hunter is the Insect Grave, which is essentially for me how I play it is how I would play as a Dragoon in the game.
Right.
So I'm up in the air doing, dives and whatnot all over the place. And, whenever you knock the monster down, I'll be doing some slashes and stuff like that. But essentially,
cool.
so essentially, I'm just pole vaulting and jumping in the air, moving the camera around to wherever the monster is at, and then trying to dive at the same time. So it's like, if I've ever streamed Monster Hunter Wild and I play as Insect Grave, then you might feel dizzy or motion sickness because of the amount of motion that's going on at the same time. But if Omega plays the same way as 14, then yeah, I'm in trouble because of the amount of things that Omega already does in the game. With like the half. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well, it's the starboard, larboard,
Yes.
larboard.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'd be in trouble. I have
You
to,
move it around. You're like, stay in one place. Stop it. Stop moving around. Yeah, I understand.
well, I mean, that's the thing about Monster Hunter Wild is like you have to be on your feet and
Oh,
be,
that's right.
you have to be
It's like
quick
an
on your feet.
action dodge game, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
like you have to.
it's you have to be
Yeah,
really quick
like
on your feet because, or you stay still like even like a couple seconds. The monster's
death.
heading towards you, and you're
Yeah,
gonna get hit. And then like just getting up from when you fall down takes a bit. So like, if
yeah,
he comes at you again, you don't have enough time to dodge because you're still
right.
rolling around or you're trying to get up or whatnot. So it's
The next question, we'll get into like the details of the crossover. I want to get into that like a little bit later. But the next thing that Yoshi in the interview was talking about, what was asked about, was development time and how the distribution of like personnel and time for creation of the team. And he wanted to make sure that everybody knows that development for the upcoming patches as well as the upcoming expansion, because we've already been approved, by the way, for the next 10 years of Final Fantasy XIV. So please look forward to it.
10 more
Wanted to
years, 10 more
10 more
years.
years. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So it wants to assure fans that development is going to be well distributed across the dev team for Final Fantasy XIV. They work hard to ensure that no feature of the game comes at any cost to any of the others. And while I am very certain that that is true, we all know that development of games winds up being very mm, um, it depends on what's popular and what people respond to. This team, one of the things I like about Final Fantasy XIV's development team is they seem to be very responsive to the things that players do enjoy as well as the things that we don't enjoy, as it were. So what that means though for us is that our feedback to the company is actually quite important. And I think that feedback that comes both in the form of not just forum responses, not just blog posts, but also things like this podcast, things like YouTube videos, things like that. Making sure that we are including nuance and understanding that we appreciate the effort and the work that's going into the game, but making sure that our criticism is constructive
I mean,
is a good attitude to have.
any person that's doing any creative, that's all we ask for is just constructive criticism. Like
Right.
we, I personally welcome it. I'm pretty sure you are the same way. Where we welcome the feedback on
Oh,
anything that
yeah.
we do that we put out and publish or anything like that. We welcome it. What does it make us do? It makes us better for the next thing that we were working on. So especially with like game development or whatnot, any feedback that the dev teams can receive, it only helps
Mhm.
them, and they can try to implement it for like may not be like the next patch, but like future patches and stuff like that. So that way, they are listening. They understand what we as the players want and stuff like that. So it's like that's helpful for everyone in the long run. If you're gonna sit there and just brutally criticize them for something and whatnot, then it does no one any good.
Right. Well, no one responds well to being torn down um about their artwork or the thing that they're creating. Everyone, I would think, should appreciate someone taking the time to give you their heartfelt feelings, as long as they are tendered like honestly, you know. And it basically, look, we have no place for insults here. We
No,
have only a place for, I didn't like this, I didn't like this. That's fine. I did like this, I did like that. That's fine. But we're gonna, at least I hope that you and I will definitely create an atmosphere of presenting ideas in a more like mature and measured way. I think that's a more fun thing to listen to anyway than somebody being all like mean for no reason.
no, and that's the thing though. It's like they're there are some creators that would do that just because that's how they make their money. Cool, you do you. All right, we're gonna be
Right.
us. We're gonna, we're gonna do our thing, and
Right.
if we're gonna criticize something, at least we're gonna try and be constructive about it. We're not gonna try to tear it down. We're gonna see, okay, what we think went wrong, how they can probably improve it in the future. And that's the mindset where anyone should be able to do, because if you're gonna tear someone down, that does no one any good whatsoever. Because it,
Right, absolutely. So, one of the next questions that he was asked was if he was getting bored with 14. And I know that this is the one that everybody was like, oh no, oh no. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of other outlets kind of glommed on to the response that was like, "No, I have no plans to leave Final Fantasy 14 anytime soon." And that's been the news of the day is like, "No, Yoshi is staying." But I don't think that was as interesting an answer as the way that he responded in explaining why he's dedicated to Square Enix and he's dedicated to Final Fantasy 14. This is something that resonated with me is that for him, he sees himself as a businessman. He's a businessman working for Square Enix. They are his employers, and he is creating this video game as a job. And while some people would look at that and kind of think, "Oh, well, you don't think of it like an art form or you're not as dedicated." No. No, 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 no. As someone who comes from a commercial art world, like I worked in film and I worked in comics and I've done a lot of things where you are definitely creating art and you are doing the creative process and creating entertainment for people. But the thing about commercial art is that you have to constantly keep your audience in mind because you are creating specifically not only just for uh your audience and for the people who are consuming it, but also for the people who are contracting you. So that push pull situation can be both extremely frustrating, but it can also be something that can create, I think, beautiful art. And it's especially great because it's continual art. It's like it's that contiguous line. Like we comics are created because people have these wonderful ideas and they have these stories and these artists are sitting down and making all these beautiful pieces of art to create craft these stories. But more than that, it's because somebody at the end of the line is going to buy it and they're going to spend money on it, and that spending of money on it is then going to flow back into the process. And for that, we have to understand that that is this cycle. This is not the process of artwork being created purely for the sake of Yoshi P wants to create this art because it is a grand design. It's he's creating this art for us, for the audience, for his
Mhm.
employers, for a particular purpose. And to that end, the way you are a creative in that world is you have your goals in mind. You have the things that you want to accomplish with your artwork. Like, for instance, as a comic book creator, you think, okay, well, I have this plan like 100 issues from now that I want to do this thing with the story and I want to see this scene play out. And you work towards that goal. And I think it's the same thing with game design.
Oh no, and I completely agree with you on everything you just said. It's like no, it's essentially so. For example, like there's tons of content creators, right? Streamers and all that stuff. Do a lot of them stream just because they love to stream and just interact with people or whatnot? No, there's always an end goal somewhere. There's always, you know, I need to
Right.
keep the light. I need to keep the lights on, so that they get
We all got
sponsorships
bills to
and
pay, baby.
subs and all that stuff. Just to bring in some of the revenue to keep the lights on, to keep the internet on, and all that stuff. It's the same thing with anything that we do. There's always an end goal somewhere. Yeah, Yoshi P says that he's a businessman and he's doing this, to keep the lights on for himself and all that stuff. That anyone with any mind frame, like I go to work just so that I can keep my lights on. But for Yoshi P, it's like I would love to be honest with you, I would love to be in his shoes. Yes, I'm going in there as a businessman working for Square Enix and whatnot, but at the same time, I'm working for a game company on 14 that millions of people are playing at the same time. And so it's like
It's not
that's
as though it's a situation where you don't have satisfaction from the art that
exactly
you're creating.
no.
Um, and what he's talking about with that boredom isn't an issue because yeah, it's a job, and I know a lot of people. It's a weird thing I've also noticed. Have you ever noticed that people think of creative jobs as though they should be something that we're grateful that we get to do this job, and that somehow we shouldn't get paid for it and it shouldn't be treated like a job because ooh, we're doing what everybody dreams of, but it's still labor, it's still work, we're still putting things together, we're still having to create, and there's still work that has to be done to do that. And even though it is of course work that we're very grateful that we get to do, it's still labor and it still should be compensated. So I don't know, it's one of those things that I like the way that he put it because it speaks to a satisfaction in doing a good job, and that's
Yes.
something that resonates with me.
No, and I think he's doing a really good job to trying to manage everything about 14 and whatnot. Could Dawn Trail could have been better, according to most people out there? I mean, you could say that for most of any expansion in any video games or whatnot. Of course there could be improvements or whatnot, but they felt at the time this is how we're gonna release the game and everything, and so be it. I enjoy Dawn Trail. I'm sure a lot of people enjoy Dawn
Yeah.
Trail, but it's like
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing about it is about commercial art in particular, because you are creating for an audience, it means that as long as you have a spirit of creativity, sometimes the things that you create are going to be big hits. And sometimes the things that you create aren't going to resonate the way that you hope that they did. And sometimes that's down to a value mismatch between the developers or the creators and the audience. And sometimes it's just down to creators wanting to express their own creativity in a way that the audience doesn't resonate with. And that's just a situation that happens. The thing that I admire about what's going on with Square Enix and with Final Fantasy 14 in particular is that they're not using that as an excuse to just crumple, fold everything up, and then walk away.
no, no, not at all. I mean, that'd be foolish of them if they did anything like that, because that's a huge amount of revenue right there that they'd be losing.
Oh yeah, and not only that, but there's so much opportunity to build within and to create something that maybe does resonate to your audience in a little bit different way. That's one of the things about it being a live service, and I'm more of like an old school live service MMO type way, is that it's an ever evolving living game.
Yes. No, yeah, it definitely is. And so here's another aspect, right? So I used to work in radio and whatnot. So
Right.
like, you have a team, of like the morning crew or whatnot. You listen to it in the morning, and you know how everyone's like sitting around and just chit chatting and whatnot, depending on the different genres out there. I mean, I'm gonna throw in sports radio out
Right.
there. So each personality out there you can think of as their own business person, because mainly they are they're in there not only for themselves, but they also have their own target audience, like who they are speaking to or whatnot. So like they have different topics and whatnot, and sometimes a lot of people would not resonate with what you're talking about because they strongly disagree with you and stuff like that, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that sports talks radio host is doing their job to try to get you to engage and listen to them, and that's what they're
Right.
doing. So I feel Yoshi P, if you're listening, I know this is only 2 episodes, and you're probably not going to be listening to this or whatnot, but I will commend you for a job that you've been doing up to this point and beyond.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love this game. I love the what's been created, and I'm not gonna give like I honestly at this point I feel as though it is entirely too soon to be going into any in-depth detail, about Dawn Trail because we're just now starting to see how it's putting together. I I'm fascinated to see where it's going. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go. The next thing he was asked about in the interview was what is his take, and this is as a person who does a lot of storytelling and a lot of narrative writing, fascinating to me was the difference between writing or creating an ongoing story with characters that are constantly moving in and out of the narrative like 14 versus a story that has a more traditional arc to it like 16 where you have a very definite ending, right?
Yeah.
And his response to this was very interesting to me because it's kind of the same way I look at it too. And that is that when you start to create a world that you want characters to live in, you don't ever think of their story as completely done. You always are thinking about, well, what happened to this person after the spotlight left them, because who knows if maybe they will be incorporated into that spotlight again at some point. For instance, what he brought up as an example is Hien. So when we leave Hien, he's trying to rebuild his nation of Doma, and he's trying to become a good leader. And like you still have to think about, okay, but how is Doma being put back together? How is Hien as a leader? Is he a successful leader? Is he, what are his struggles? What is he going through? And even if it doesn't come back up in the story now, it's still something you want to have as a framework, because what if you need later on down the line, particularly in a story like 14, a character who comes from Doma, and how are they responding to the changes that have happened in their home. Then also, even from the point of view of characters in 16, let's just say, it you still have to think about where those characters began. Like we started with them in childhood.
Yeah.
Like that's how that story begins. And it ends with them in adulthood. But if you haven't at least put some thought as a narrative creator into where they going to be going past this, then it makes it really hard to even find the most effective stopping point for the story.
No, in which one was it? There's like, so Final Fantasy IV. You
Mhm.
played the original game and whatnot. So there, if what game? What's this one? Did it come out? I think it was like the DS or something. So there was a Final Fantasy IV after years or something like that, where you have the two characters, get married and have kids and whatnot. And I think it takes place during their kids' era or whatnot. Don't quote me on that. I've never played the game. I only discovered it like within the past 10 years that there was an after years about it, and I'm like, I need to somehow play this game somehow. Anyways, so you can have like sequels and whatnot, right? But
Right.
like, it's always a delicate balance. Another delicate balance where it's like, people love 4. I love Final Fantasy 4. It was one of the
Uh-huh.
first games that one of my best friends back in high school introduced me to, and whatnot. So Final Fantasy 4, then we played 6 and whatnot. So, but like the end of the game, everyone lives happy ever after. Yay, celebration and all that stuff, right? But then like,
Right.
if you throw in like a after story and whatnot afterwards, does that take away from like the original game? So it's like you have to see where it's going to lead to and whatnot. It's like what happened between the original characters in the after game. Do we know that backstory? And so on and so forth. So it's like it's one of those things like you gotta like juggle. Okay, what stories are we gonna tell and whatnot on certain characters and stuff. So like in 14 specifically, I I want Hilda to come back. I love her. When I love
Yes.
her, and I will continue to love her, and I will shout to the high heavens that I want Hilda back in some way, somehow, in some sort of fashion.
Well, I guess now you can very definitely be assured that Yoshi P has got some idea of what she's been up to in the meantime,
Yeah, I know, but it's
since
like
your character's been interacting with her.
I want Hilda back. Give me Hilda. But no, but
Give me
no,
Hilda.
but
Hilda
with
was
he
a
and
great character. Don't get me
I
wrong. I love that
love
character.
her. I'm like when
She was great.
she was like when she's like after the last scene that you see of her and then there's like barely any mention of her afterwards. Like, where's my Hilda? Give me Hilda.
Yeah, the thing I do love about Final Fantasy XIV especially, and that this does give me heart because the characters are known to come back for different reasons. Um might I point very generically at the role quests for Dawn Trail, which I personally enjoyed a lot, and also role quests in Walker,
Hmm.
and role quests before for job quests and things. Characters just wind up showing up all over the place, so you get to have fun interactions with them. So all right, let's move on to our Monster Hunter Wilds. We actually got this special site got dropped. So, hey, I'm
Hey.
so excited. Okay, so I don't know what an Arkfeld is, but holy crap, does it look cool! It looks so awesome.
So
Um,
this particular monster is so essentially in Monster Hunter Wild. So you can say it's like this monster was part of the MSQ in Monster Hunter
right?
World, and I remember my first time seeing this monster. I was like, "Holy bleep! Are you kidding me?" And then all of a sudden the fight starts. I'm like, uh, let me go and put up this flare real quick and then attempt to hit this monster. Like I this fight when I first fought him was like terrifying because the was a monster that I was not thinking that it was gonna be this incredibly wild. Like pun intended,
Oh.
pun intended.
Ah.
But like just the amount of attacks and just movement that this monster was making and whatnot. I'm like, oh my god, stay still for like a split second. That's all I
Okay,
need.
so we have to apparently in all of this, like I'm gonna be honest with you, I am totally hyped for that mount. That mount, those minions, I'm like, get on the pile. Get on the pile. Get on the pile. I need you right now. Those things are so awesome. Okay, but here's the thing. Apparently, the internet is having an issue, and that is that we don't get any of the what is it, the armor. So the secret armor or whatever it is, we're not getting that. So what is this Arkveld armor? What does it look like? Can you describe it? You
Ooh.
show us a picture.
I will probably show you a picture and probably be on the screen and whatnot, but it's pretty badass.
Okay,
It,
so we are not getting that. We are
no.
instead getting something that is very particular to the Final Fantasy XIV
So
team, and
the armor that we're gonna be getting is essentially
mhm.
the starting armor that you get in the game. So you start off with this particular armor.
Oh,
It's like very generic, very basic from like from the time your first time in the game and whatnot.
right. Okay,
So
so that's
it's
why.
very it's very generic and whatnot. But
Okay,
if I were to describe this arc valid armor and whatnot, so if you look at the scale of the monster and
right.
whatnot, so it's think of it as what a warrior or the tank class would wear in 14,
Okay.
where like the main set is like all the scales and whatnot, and then you have a cape that's coming off of it, and that's the fur that's coming off of the monster.
Ooh, I'm gonna
And
be
now
honest with you. The Arkveld's also very cool to me because like that's my aesthetic. Like that dragon stole my aesthetic, y'all. Cause it's all white with purple crackling scales. It is gonna be so awesome. Okay,
I'm
so
looking
let's.
forward to what how this fight is going to be in 14.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
interest. But like in Wild though, it's intense. The first time you face it is pretty intense.
I'm
But
hoping that intensity translates over to Final Fantasy 14. Like I'm really excited for that. All right, so to give an idea of like what we're going to need to prepare for, everybody get ready. So it's probably going to be coming in first week. We don't have a specific date as of right now,
right
as
meow.
of recording. Right meow, we do not have it. However, we are expecting it to be within the first week of October. We will see the Monster Hunter Wilds and Final Fantasy 14 crossover happen. We are going to be defeating or attempting to defeat the Dread Guardian Arkveld, which, for those Monster Hunter fans who are excited to see how that plays out in Final Fantasy 14, you will need to be level 100 to access this content. You will need to have, for the normal trial, you will need to have an eye level of 725. And for the extreme, you will need to have an eye level of 740. Right now, the rewards are you get the Sacred Steed. I don't know if that's pronounced correctly or not.
We'll go with that.
Monster. Okay. How would you pronounce it?
Secret.
Secret. Okay. And we have the Monster Hunter style weapons, 2 minions, one of which is the baby Secret. We also have tons of housing items, such as a yurt, a feline training dummy. I'm going to be honest with you, that training dummy, when y'all get to see it, it is the cutest thing. It literally looks like a little kitty face. I'm down for it. And then of course a treasure chest for outdoor housing that can be used. And of course, since it's all outdoor housing, it can be used on your island. We'll probably go ahead and include at least a few pictures off the special site so that you can, if you're viewing this on YouTube, you can see it there. If not, go to the link that we'll put in the description so that you can get your first look at the Monster Hunter Wilds Final Fantasy XIV crossover.
So all the housing that you see are straight from the game. So like the tent with the chest and whatnot. So like if you're out facing a monster and whatnot, you have a small camp, and that's what you go to get more potions and whatnot, and then go back and into the fight. The tent is like your main tent in your main uh in the city that you're currently at, and the training dummy is just the training dummy is in the game, and I absolutely love the training dummy. And I'm like, at the time, I was like, if they do another Monster Hunter crossover, I want this training dummy in 14, and I'm getting it. I'm so happy. When I first saw it, I literally jumped out. I was like, yes, yes.
Heck yeah! Oh my god, that's so
It
awesome!
was awesome.
Oh, I love it so much. Okay, so we're also going to get, of getting Omega invading the Monster Hunter world. Is it world? It's world.
Wild.
And I can't wait how to see the Monster Hunter. Okay, so I don't know anything in detail because of course I am not a monster hunter. However, I have heard from the online community how absolutely mind blasted everybody got from the original Bahamut mob being added into Monster Hunter. What was your personal experience? Because you said that you tried it, right?
I tried it quite a number of times. Way too many to for my count. But let me put it this way. So like the scale of Bahamut,
So you're saying you got some beef with Bahamut? Is that what's up?
that's why every single time we go into the Crystal Tower in in the Alliance raid, I always have beef with you. Every single time.
Every
Anyway,
single time.
anyways, like just the scale of Bahamut in Monster Hunter World. I remember
Yeah.
like just seeing it, I was like, okay, you're way larger than I thought you're gonna be. And just the range of motion that Bahamut had, the spell that was casting, and all that. So, the one thing that I was really glad that the Bahamut in World didn't do was cast
Right.
Meteor, or else we would have been in trouble.
You mean it the Behemoth, you mean? Not Bahamut, but Behemoth.
Yeah,
Am I getting it wrong? I think I'm getting it wrong because I don't play Monster Hunter. So it's not the dragon, it's the Behemoth.
the
Oh,
Behemoth.
oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I can understand why people are like suddenly like, oh, oof, oof. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
All right.
it was the Behemoth. It was yeah,
Ah,
it wasn't Bahamut, it was Behemoth. So
okay.
yeah, I have beef with you and forever will because I have not taken you down. It is
Yeah, so we'll just have to go into the tower a few more times. You just beat him up. You
I
can
want
always get
to.
him in 14.
Yeah, I know, but that was my main one of my main goals in World was to take him down. But it's like, it was so frustrating. Like as an
I believe it.
insect glaive main in it, I was like, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can, and switching. I would switch weapons to the hand cannon and go pew pew. Even that was a bit
Yeah.
struggle because like just how slow I was moving, and then like having to dodge whenever he was approaching me. I'm like,
Okay.
oh crap.
You don't have to keep bragging about how you get to play this cool game. I like
I'm sorry.
give me a break.
I'm sorry.
Just give me a break. All right. Let's move on. All right, because like if
Okay.
I'm gonna get any more jealous, it's gonna be I'm gonna get upset. I don't want to be upset.
Okay.
Let's go. All right. Anyway, all right. So this is where we're gonna get real for a minute because things are wilding out in the games industry and it might actually wind up blowing back on us in our little world of Final Fantasy XIV. So have you heard about what's going on with the new Nintendo patent that was just put out by the US government patent office?
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Not happy about that. Like at all. Like.
Yeah. Okay. So to give some explanation as to what's going on is and I find this really funny because here's the irony is that Yoshi P has gone on record stating that he would love to see Final Fantasy XIV on the Switch too. I wonder if he feels the same way after hearing about this. So this is going to be really in depth. It's got a lot of moving parts, but apparently Nintendo in its ongoing attempt to take down or force Pal World to stop putting out its game, specifically the company Pocket Pair to stop producing Pal World. They have been trying desperately to sue the company in Japan, and it has been a long ongoing suit. And so what it basically came down to is that Nintendo has to prove somehow that they came up with and therefore hold the patent on the idea of summonable creatures. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too loud?
Yep. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so as we know, this is something that is, I mean, this is an idea that has existed in games and gaming for a long time, especially if you go all the way back to before video gaming even had this capability. We're talking about Dungeons and Dragons, we're talking about tabletop RPGs, this entire concept of calling forth a summonable creature and that summonable creature fighting for you or fighting alongside you. Okay. Now, the part that's really frustrating about this particular patent is that it is for a storage medium, information processing system, information processing apparatus, and game processing method, which by itself, it's really vague. It's incredibly vague, and it really could literally be in response to or describing anything, anything that plays any kind of a program or a game or anything could be that. But okay, so the details on of the way that it sounds, this is all going to sound very highly technical, and I apologize. And I want to also make sure that everybody is very aware this is just my opinion based on information that I have gotten from Games Fray and from a few other videos that I have seen detailing this information. Um, this is my opinion. I am not a lawyer. I am not a patent lawyer. I don't know anything in detail about the law. All I know is that this sounds suspicious to me. But what do I know? Anyway, a non transitory computer readable storage medium having stored therein a game program, the game program causing a processor of an information processing apparatus to execute. That's literally anything even vaguely relating to computing, y'all. Just so you know, that is literally so vague. It is anything related to electronic execution of a program. Performing control of moving a player character on a field in a virtual space. Just so you know, that's everything. That's literally every single game that has a player character. And a player character can, in fact, just be a dot. It doesn't have to be human shaped or be like person or animal or anything. It's just anything that represents the player in a virtual space based on a movement operation input. So literally any kind of input, doesn't specify controller, doesn't specify keyboard and mouse, doesn't specify eyeballs. It specifies nothing. It literally is just any kind of input method moving any kind of character that could be representative of a player.
And this could also include like VR or whatnot, where you're just doing a hand motion or a button
Oh yeah,
on the VR device or whatnot. So it's like,
it is so generic. It is so vague. Performing control of causing a sub character to appear on the field based on a first operation input, and when an enemy character is placed at a location where the sub character is caused to appear, controlling a battle between the sub character and the enemy character by a first mode in which the battle proceeds based on an operation input, and when the enemy character is not placed at the location where the sub character is caused to appear, starting automatic control of automatically moving the sub character that has appeared, and performing control of moving the sub character to a predetermined direction on the field based on a second operation input, and when the enemy character is placed at a location of designation, controlling a battle between the sub character and the enemy character by a second mode in which the battle automatically proceeds. So, technically, all of the things that I just detailed are the process by which the Nintendo gained a patent for. But the thing is that literally everything that I have described, while yes, all of those, if I remember correctly, have to be met, they're also incredibly vague. And I could very much see a lawyer being able to apply the idea of so many different types of games, so many different types of characters and sub characters within games to apply to this information or to this process. And because it's a patent, normally the way that patents work is that a company that has a patent can then demand licensing fees from any other company that uses technology that is either similar enough or is using specifically the technology that has been patented by that company. So this is Nintendo seeking to essentially control who can and who cannot create games that include summonable sub characters, and they're doing it in such an incredibly vague way. And the worst part about this is that this is not a patent that is in process. This is a patent that has already been issued.
Yes. And I'm just dumbfounded by the entire thing. Like why? Like how petty are you to do this?
You're
Like
asking that about Nintendo. But
I
anyway.
I I know that, and I know the history that Nintendo has been doing and whatnot. But at the same time, though, like, are you guys losing that much money where you have to spend more money to try to stop someone from making money? Can we all just not like get
Ooh, yeah.
along? It's like you're wasting everyone's time on this. Like, can we just leave Pal World alone? You already told them, hey, don't really do this. Okay,
Right.
so they sort of change things around where you can't really do that, and now you're gonna throw this at them just to be like, you really can't do this now. You gotta change your game entirely at this point. I'm sorry, what? Like, can we not? Can we all like just get along and be like, all right, we're over here in our space with Pokemon that everyone really loves and whatnot, and Pal World could be like another forum for the adults and whatnot because of all the element that's in the game and stuff. But it's not
I
like they're
don't want to
losing
really
money.
necessarily get into like the game itself because I've never played Pal World and my knowledge of Pokemon is passing at best. But the way that it would affect a game that is seemingly completely unrelated to all of this so utterly enraging. Like that's Summoner, y'all.
Yeah.
That's Scholar. That's literally pulling out your chocobo to fight with you in Final Fantasy XIV. And now, if Nintendo feels it would be appropriate, they can literally sue for licensing fees. And here's the thing, it was issued this year. And it would be one thing to me if you were really genuinely seeking this, if you had like, when did Pokemon first come out? Wasn't it like 1991,
It was
1989, something like
really.
that?
It
It
was
was
the
a
card game.
long time ago. It was a long time ago.
Yeah. 96.
96. Oh my goodness. That game is literally as old as my oldest child. Like that is some crazy talk right there, that you are just now in 2025 deciding that you need to patent the process of, on a computer, therefore in a video game, being able to summon a sub character that will fight with or for you, and and to do it in such generic terms. And it's just it's either going to be revoked or it's going to do a tremendous amount of damage. And
So yeah, so you mentioned Summoner, you mentioned Scholar and whatnot. So like, let's say hypothetically, let's say Nintendo goes after Square Enix just because of the way Summoners and Scholars
better
and
not.
like and
Better
every
not.
and every single character in Final Fantasy XIV summons their chocobo or whatnot. Um,
Right.
do they have to rework it, like how they get quote unquote summoned? Or are they going to be like just like a quote unquote permanent pet where they're always going to be out and about whenever you switch over to Scholar and Summoner and whatnot? Because it's like it's this the whole thing is dumb. In my mind, is just dumb and petty. To
Well,
for
at
you
that
to
point, the problem is that the companies would have to decide whether or not it's more worthwhile to pay licensing fees to Nintendo, or it would be more worthwhile to completely rework their game system. Like it's it's huge. It's a huge change. It's creating huge problems. And quite frankly, uh I hope that it gets resolved in a way that is beneficial to the games industry, but I'm not holding out a lot of hope, to be perfectly honest.
so essentially, like let's say Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Right.
I'm not sure how much you know about Yu-Gi-Oh and whatnot. So
It's a card game,
yeah,
right?
it's a card game and you summon monsters based off of it. So are you gonna go after Yu-Gi-Oh as well? Are you gonna
Oh, you mean like Magic the Gathering?
yeah, Magic the Gathering or Wizard of the Coast because of D&D and how you can
You know what's
summon people
wild
from
to
there.
me?
Like what are you gonna
You do
do?
know that Magic the Gathering supersedes Pokemon,
Oh,
right?
most definitely. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons supersedes
So
Pokemon.
yeah. So we're gonna wind up, like I said, this is gonna be something. There's gonna be a lot of challenges to it. This is gonna be huge, but it is something that is potentially going to affect the game that we play. And honestly, if you love games in general, like keep an eye out on this story because, quite frankly, it's gonna affect everything.
Oh, most definitely. And like I said before, I'm just dumbfounded by the whole thing. Like it just does not make sense to me.
Me either. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
like I literally at that point there's nothing else you can really say about it because the patent was actually issued really quickly. It's incredibly generic. It is about a program process that is being filed as though it was some form of hardware, or it's like it the whole thing is so confusing. If you want to get more details on it, we'll link to some to the article that I found it out. And you can kind of go over it yourself. There are several people who are experts in patent law who have created videos to explain, and the universal attitude on this is that it's a big old pile, y'all. It's a big old pile.
And before anyone asks whether or not if this is like strictly on like any Nintendo consoles or whatnot, there is a line on there where it says there must be a PC, console, or other computing devices, and the game is stored on a drive or similar storage medium. So
So
essentially,
that's
yes.
anything. That's
So
anything
anything
though.
that we use, anything,
Yeah,
your
that's
PC, your
uh,
PS5, your Xbox, your Switch,
uh,
even your phone, your
oh my
VR
god.
devices, anything that has some way to store the game, they can be able to go after you. And it's like, that's the frustrating part. It's like,
Yeah. And this is
really?
going to create some really I hate things like this because it winds up creating a chilling effect throughout the entire industry. And the games industry is already As we know, I don't want to go into big details here because it's dependent upon by country, but the games industry as a whole goes through ups and downs and largely suffers a lot from hyper corporatism. And as a games medium, or as an entertainment medium especially, that's not super great.
No,
So
not at
this
all.
sort of thing being out there is going to definitely cause a lot of ripple effect throughout the entire industry. Are you a Final Fantasy XIV player tired of AFKing in Limsa all alone? Do you long for a group of adventurers to explore the realms with? HeatherJustPlay.org has got you covered. We have our own free company on the Dynamis Data Center, Kraken's Call. No, the FC is called Kraken's Call. That's enough out of you, you squidgy squid. As I was saying, Kraken's Call, a pirate-themed free company headed up by Captain Oliver Benley, our very own Heather of Heather Just Play, welcomes you to join us on Kraken for a round of ale, a good fight or three, and possibly a cannon firing. Ugh, that's gonna leave a mark. Even if you already have a free company, or you love your home server, then join our Discord community. Link on heatherjustplay.org and come play with our active community of helpful warriors of light. All right. So let's try and get some positivity injected into this conversation, but let's
Yes.
get positively controversial. So I know that I have gotten some hardcore into the Final Fantasy XIV, and I know the list of things that I would like to see changed or added.
Mm-hmm.
What thing do you know that you would start an argument with somebody with, but you think would be a big positive change in Final Fantasy XIV?
Ooh, good question. Never really thought about that. But I will say that a positive change for me, anyways, is and we talked about it last week too. Give me Dibo mounts because my aesthetic.
Ooh.
Give me so so. Let's say one of the mounts out there, especially in Dawn Trail, that everyone likes to ride, is the mount that's got a nice little glow, purple glow to it. I want
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to change that to red to fit my aesthetic or not. Give me more dyeable things to be able to
Customization.
exactly. Give me more things like that. Let me even in housing or whatnot. Give me more things in the housing where I can I can change the color or whatnot. I know there's not everything in the housing is dyeable, and I understand the reason why.
Right.
But for the mounts though, l- give me some dyeable mounts. It's not a huge controversial thing, and I understand, and I'm pretty sure
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people will agree with me on that. But give me that option. At least give me that option.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Dyeable
also,
mounts. Ooh. Mm-hmm.
and also, bring back the belts. No, I'm just joking. Don't bring back belts. No, don't bring
Bring
it back.
back belts. No, don't. Please, no.
That would start a World War Five, I think. So
Oh, yeah, no, it's just yeah. Let's you know what? Okay. So, my controversial, positively controversial yet brave I think two big things. One, I would actually like to see less jewelry items. I'm
yes.
actually the grind to get both an entire set of armor, and then let's think about this. Okay, so I understand this is going to be from the most shallow perspective possible, but as someone who is a glamour, it is but also does rating and things like that. The frustration of having to find items that actually have the right eye level as well as all of the gear stats and everything else, right? And then 90% of the time I don't even get to see those suckers.
Hmm.
Like they don't show up Why? Why would you do that? Why? Why are you putting me through this pain?
No, the
Anyway.
I like with the in the more in Dawn Trail, there's like the body set, right? There's one
Oh yeah,
particular one that I've been looking
right.
for since Dawn Trail came out, and I've never seen it drop. I've seen everyone else wear it.
Oh,
I've never seen it drop. Why? In every single dungeon, it's like
yeah,
you fight a boss and you get jewelry,
uh,
jewelry. I don't want just jewelry. No, that's not why
right,
I came in here
right.
for.
Yeah, right. Give us more options and like make me want to do this dungeon 1,000 times to get that one piece that looks awesome. Like I want that. The but more than that, I think it's just down to especially as we're going into like the future, as it were. I think having the jewelry pieces, having to set those up with eye level and have all the stats. When we talk about stat crunch and things like that, honestly, one of the easiest things is just do the exact same thing to jewelry that we did with faceware. Because
Yes.
quite frankly, like we just need one set of gear. And now that we have 20 jobs, it's not as though we don't have reasons to go and do something over and over and over again. Like jewelry just being something that's more for cosmetic purposes makes sense because then we don't have to worry about having it on our sheet. But then beyond that, I have an even more positively controversial opinion. I appreciate that finally, after many, many years, bunnies can finally poke their ears through hats. That's great.
Oh my
I appreciate
goodness.
that. Thank you. However, I cannot get over the fact that somehow you want me to be the cutest bunny girl in Eorzea, and I am. Don't worry. I know I am. But I don't have a cottontail. Where's my cottontail? I want a wiggly tail. Mikote get wiggly tails. Where's my wiggly? I'm a bunny girl. Give me wiggly tail. And then on top of it, like Mikote, when they do the slash joy emote, have you seen the Mikote males? They have like their little ears that go wiggle wiggle.
Yeah, yeah.
I want that. I want that. I want that. Give it to me. Give me the bunny girls and the bunny boys with their ear wiggles of happiness. I have to deal with like my emotions are so tamped down, and so like I want just give me a little ear wiggle, just a little bit.
And I understand why you want a cottontail for your Vera or whatnot.
Yeah.
I think the reason why they don't have it mainly because of a friend from Final Fantasy XII because she didn't have one, and I think that if they would have
You know what?
included,
It's not my fault that Fran had her tail stumped off. It's not my issue that she is ill equipped. I would like to be properly equipped as bunny girl. That means give me my tail, thanks.
no, and I think it would, and I think it would definitely make the bunny girl and bun boy makes sense
Well,
because we have the cat girl,
yeah.
you have the dragon girls, and the guys and whatnot, and they all have
Everybody
tails.
else gets emotion tails that like give their like emotional whatever away and like helps to add to their character. Like I want just little fluffy tail that wiggles back and forth with emotion. It's give it.
No, and they should be able to add it on there because it's like why not? Like I don't think it's gonna harm anything really. Like right?
No, I don't think so either, and I think it would be super cute. Anything that where I can actually like animate more emotion into my character, I think would be super great. The only thing I wanted to kind of like end on today was one of the things I kind of did wound up kind of deep diving into recently is we've been talking about customization and I know it's come up a few times is the Final Fantasy XIV mobile. Okay.
Yes.
Currently only available in China, right? And it's really interesting split that we have going on now between Final Fantasy XIV mobile and the full version. So retail is what they're referring to as like the full retail version. As of 7.4, all of the global versions, Chinese, South Korean, and the global like North American, European, Japanese versions of Final Fantasy XIV will finally be synced up. So we're
Ooh.
all going to be playing, but we're not going to be playing on the same servers. Now, the servers for China and the servers for South Korea are completely separate from the global servers, which are the ones for Japan, Europe, and North America.
In Oceanic.
And Oceanic. You're right. Thank you for reminding me. We've Oceanic finally got their own space too. Um, there's a letter to all Warriors of Light that they put on the special site for the mobile game, and they are intending on a global release at some point. We don't have a date. We don't have a timeline. We have no information on it. Mr. Happy and a few other people who have been on a special Discord have been able to download the game, as it were, to their phones and access it. But they're starting to kind of crack down on that. So as much as I want to try it, and I do want to try it because it looks super fun.
I know, right?
That there's some positives, some negatives to it. Apparently, it is really great if you love the glam aspect of the game. If you really are into the customization of the game, there have been a lot of people who kind of gone into that. One of the things that Mr. Happy's video did is it went into the actual like gameplay. They made some obvious changes from the original uh, version of A Realm Reborn. You get flying mounts now a lot faster. So now when you are playing through each X pack of the game, you go through and you gather up aether currents, and as you gather up aether currents, you're able to fly in that zone. And now they've added that into the game. The problem also comes in is there's not a lot of what do you call it? Multitasking. So if you have a menu open, then that will actually cause whatever item you're trying to get or whatever item that would be coming from a thing that you're doing, it'll wind up getting mailed to you. Because if you have a menu open, then there's not enough CPU essentially in your phone or your mobile device to be able to operate both at the same time.
No. And I saw that too, and I was like, huh, that's interesting. So you can have your menu up and you be auto
Mm-hmm.
fighting, I guess, essentially, and just whatever you pick up, it goes right to your mail. I'm like, oh, hopefully there's a lot more mail space in there than what we currently have in
Right?
retail.
Because currently, like, we cap out super fast.
So I'm hoping they have a lot more mail space than what we currently have because, woo, uh,
Yeah. Now it right now the mobile game is just going to start with the first 9 launch jobs. But it also has the Chocobo Racing, Triple Triad, Gold Saucer games, the full crafting and gathering system. So they've borrowed a lot of the modern amenities, as it were, of the current retail game. But the other thing that Mr. Happy did want to point out is that the gameplay system is very, very cut down. So if you're looking for a more robust or a more detailed gameplay system, this is not it. This is not it. This is still very much a. Have you ever played Genshin?
yes,
It's really similar to Genshin.
okay.
Like it's really similar to that. Which don't get me wrong, Genshin's fun, but it is not the same sort of experience that I would say that Final Fantasy XIV in its full retail version gives you. And there's also, from what I gather, only either limited or no controller support.
Oh, wait, no
So
controller support, really? Like even like the
yeah.
the mini controller that I have for mobile game that's not going to work for that?
I don't think so. Not according to any of the information I found. Yeah. I'm on the Discord and I've looked through all that. So it's one of those things where for people who've been looking at the customization options and been super excited about things like diable mounts and 16 channels of diable glam and all these other things, do keep in mind that that is a lot of stuff that is only accessible by either having to buy it off of their equivalent of the Mog Station, or it is, which is, that's how mobile games. It is a free to play game,
Yes.
so I would say it's going to be one of those things where, if mobile type Genshin type games are something that you enjoy, then go ahead and go to the mobile site, and it which is ffxivmobile.com, and go ahead and sign up for alerts, and they will be putting out more and more details over time as to whether or not the game is going to be picked up as a global release.
Yay. Cannot wait to try this. Like, essentially, I know we were already playing 14, but I really want to see how well it works on the mobile phone and whatnot. Mainly because
Yeah,
currently my son plays my character sometimes whenever he
right.
decides to, like, I want to play your character. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm
Okay.
excited. I'm excited because that this way it's a much more simpler version where he can still go explore, fly around and whatnot, and not
Right.
have to bug me about it. So
Right. I mean, and I might be able to, through the mobile version, also be able to get my kids kind of interested in it, because I've gotten them to play 14 a little bit. But to be fair, it is a much more complicated, much more involved game. And um while Mr. Happy, who's an absolutely great resource on this because he's been doing Final Fantasy XIV content since the
yeah.
beginning, um, was kind of explaining that it is very definitely the exact same story. We have the exact same, Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. Storylines are all very similar. However, gameplay has been cut down quite a lot. There is an actual auto attack button that you do have to hit repeatedly. Now there is a way to like hold it down so that it does the auto attack, but it is not as complicated or as involved a system as what we have. Now, again, this only goes through level 50, and it's only incorporating A Realm Reborn as of right now. So we don't know whether or not we're going to see new X packs, or whether or not they're going to take the old X packs and translate them into the mobile game, or what the plans are as of right now. It's just literally been released in China as of June.
Okay. Well, that seems reasonable.
Yeah. So if you were to see any, like we've already talked about your diable mounts, we've already talked about the die channels. How about, did you saw the video too,
Yes.
right? What things do you think we should be pulling in from the mobile version into the retail version? Because I would love to see a revitalization of A Realm Reborn for new players. What do you think would do that for you?
I think the one thing that really struck me with the mobile version, which, in my humble opinion, that I would like to see is the first three primals that you fight in the game, the normal
Uh
version.
huh.
Get rid of those and just start off with the hard. I
Okay.
and,
Which
and,
is exact. That's what they're doing in the
and,
mobile version, and I'm really excited for that.
and I and I understand, for new players or whatnot, you need to learn how to, how the the fight and mechanic goes or whatnot. But it's like at the same time, if we're doing these fights, what was it, three times almost like each? Essentially,
Yes.
can we get at least get rid of the normal version and just start off with hard? I mean, and in hard, if you want to modify it where there's like less things going on, essentially, as opposed to just adding to normal and stuff, I guess so be it. But like, give me the start off with a hard. That way,
Right.
you're really letting the new player know, hey, this is how the rest of the game is gonna go and whatnot, in everything. So it was like, I again, my own personal opinion, would like to
Right.
see that in the retail version. Just get rid of the normal in ARR. With when it comes to the primal fights.
Right. For me, honestly, transportation is a big thing. So, um, I would absolutely be so much more cool with having alts and playing alts if I didn't have to wait until level 50 to be able to get a flying mount.
That's true.
Um, if I didn't have to wait until level 30 to get them out, or at
Yeah,
least the MSQ level 30 or level 20, I think level 20 to get them out. The fact that you get it, I think it's like between 5 and 6 levels earlier in the mobile version, and you can get flying as it is, with the same Aether current system that we have. I think that would be encouraging to me. Along with yes, I think that the normal version, the fact that in the retail version we cut that from an 8-person to a 4-person um player encounter speaks volumes, really, honestly, because the normal trial versions are so simplified that, quite frankly, you can just dominate the crap out of them.
exactly.
And going straight to the hard version, I think sets you up for being able to, and yeah, okay, there is the potential that there might be a little bit more struggle, but my whole idea is, so long as they maintain the idea that there's no like giant punishment for just having to try something over again and just do it until you can get it, then quite frankly, having harder content is more exciting and it's more interesting.
No, there's one other thing that I would like to see in the game, and I don't think they're gonna do it. But what is it? Auto movement or auto walk or whatever to
Oh
reach to
yeah,
the
the
point where
auto walk. Yes, that was cool. That was
add
kind of
that to the
cool.
game. That'd be nice. You don't necessarily have to do it with flying. I mean, that'd be great to be flying as well because that way I don't have to sit there and babysit my character while flying. But if you
Right.
give me the ability to, like, hey, I want you to go to this point, and while you're flying or walking and whatnot, and just auto walk, so that way I don't have to sit there and wait. I understand everything looks beautiful in 14. I absolutely love all the settings in 14. Yes, including in Dawn Trail and whatnot. But sometimes in my busy day of life as a father and whatnot, I have to get up
Well,
and
they
walk
don't I
away
don't
from
really
real
see
quick.
that much difference between the auto walk function and the Chocobo taxi. So
True,
Chocobo
but
Taxi is something that wasn't like picked up for like the entirety. Like eventually you kind of move on past the point of needing it, but it still exists in so many zones in so many areas, so that instead of having to take aetherites, you can just like jump on a Chocobo Taxi. You still get the experience of seeing the world around you. You just don't have to be in control of your character. Um, and I don't really see the auto walk function is that different from that particular thing.
thing. Yeah, true.
Thing.
I completely forgot about the
So,
Chocobo taxi as well, actually.
yeah. Most
I'm
people
like, oh
do
yeah,
actually.
that's a thing. Oh, right. The person I need to talk to every new town that I experience in ARR. Oh, that person, yeah.
Yeah, that person. All right. Well, I think that we've come to the end of our time It's so sad. I hate to see that this has ended, but
No.
I'm sure I got to get back to the void, man.
I do
I got to
too.
go.
I
Well,
do
thanks
too.
everybody for tuning in. The Eorzean Update's just one of many fine podcasts in the HJP Podcast Network. Remember that you can go to the playlists on our podcast locations, whether it's YouTube or it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, and subscribe so that you can be alerted whenever new podcasts are issued and published. As always, we appreciate your likes, your comments, and your subscribes are very greatly appreciated. And also, please visit the heatherjustplay.org to find out more about the HJP community and our 501c nonprofit dedicated to creating an online environment where we can build personal growth through play. And if that interests you, please consider joining our community Discord. Links on the website.
Thanks for listening, and may all your Aetheryte travels be free.